What's up, everybody? V-Dub here. We just got done seeing two insane Monday Night Football games that have taken place, and some results I did not see happening. Like the Green Bay Packers, we're gonna try to get to being above 500. You see, they're still that seventh spot at 6-7 after that heartbreaking loss to the New York Giants, which, by the way, keeps the Giants alive for a playoff berth. As you can see, they are 5-8 currently here. As you can see, this is the playoff machine, or playoff projection machine here. So we're going to have fun with this, doing coin tosses. I might just do coin tosses for the next 3 weeks. Starting off with week 15, week 16, week 17. I don't know if I'll do week 18. It'll be fun, though, because by then everything will be clinched. But definitely this week will be fun. As you can see, the actual standings here, current and then projected. So we're going to actually take a look at this, and then we're going to see here as, yeah, Baltimore is the first seed. Miami, number 2. I believe they had a chance to become number 1 until they botched that game tonight against Tennessee. Again, I'm talking to you guys after these games ended, so I don't get how the Titans blew that one. But the Titans, though, they do keep faint playoff hopes alive as of the time of this recording. As you see, 3 teams in the AFC North. And Cincinnati, by the way, still in it. You see Miami leading that division by 2 games now against Buffalo. That division is not a runaway. Neither is the NFC North. I believe that the 49ers can win. I mean, the 49ers did clinch the playoff. I believe they're the first team in the entire league. And I believe a win this upcoming weekend will give them, as I look at the standings, a win will give them the NFC West division, as they are fighting for that top spot. Very important to get that top spot. Don't forget, only the top seed will have the wild card bye and will host the NFC Championship game should they get to that point. As you look at the standings here, so how I'm going to do this is we got a coin flip here. Heads is the home team. Tails is the visiting team. So let's get on to it. Thursday Night Football for Week 15. Raiders, Chargers. This is meaningless. In fact, I believe the loser of this game will be eliminated from playoff contention mathematically, I believe. So let's see here. Heads. So the Raiders will get the win. They go to 6-8. Not going to really mean too much. An interconference game between the Vikings and the Bengals, but it is a huge one still, as the Vikings are in a playoff contention, as well as the Bengals are still in it, even though they are outside looking in. This game being played in Cincinnati. Tails, and the Vikings will get the win and hold on to that 6th seed, as they are 8-6 now. Let me see, Colts, Steelers, and that is a huge game, as Colts are in that 7th spot. I believe the Steelers are in the 8th spot. Oops. So we got heads here, and that will go to the Colts. So the Colts momentarily move up to the 6th seed, as you can see here. Another important interconference matchup, as the Broncos are in it. Who would have ever thought that, when I believe they were like 1-4, 1-5 at one point. But they have rolled off a string of victories, and they are now in it. The Lions, of course, still ahead, still vying for that top spot. They're still in that discussion to have the top seed in the NFC. So we look over here. Let's do heads, tails. That game is played at Ford Field. Tails. So the Broncos will get that win, keeping the Lions at that 3rd seed. And now you see that playoff projection machine. The Broncos are now in that 7th spot. Dolphins, Jets. I don't know how the Dolphins blew that game. I believe the Jets still have faint playoff hopes, but that's not going to keep it alive there, because Miami will get the win there. They go to 10-4. Texans, Titans. Titans are well outside looking in, but they still have faint playoff hopes after that comeback from behind win against the Dolphins. Let's see how this goes, and it's going to be a slower toss, and it heads, and it goes to the Titans, and the Titans will get that win, and they're going to knock the Texans a little bit of damage to their playoff hopes a little bit. Buccaneers, Packers in that 7th seed. The Buccaneers in the 4th seed by virtue of leading that 3-way tie for the NFC South. Yeah, let's get rid of that. So let's see here. The game's in Lambeau, and the Packers are going to get to 500. And that's going to momentarily put the Falcons in that 4th spot in the NFC, being the NFC South leaders. Giants, Saints. Giants still a game back of that wild card spot. They will not move into that 7th spot because the Packers won. But they do get the win, and they're going to damage the Saints' playoff hopes a little bit. So the Falcons right now still into that 4th spot. And they now play the Panthers. That game's played in Charlotte. Heads, and the Panthers will get that upset win on the coin toss, so Tampa Bay moves back into that spot. Browns, Bears. Browns actually still have a shot at the playoffs in that NFC. And tails it is, and the Browns will get the upset win. However, the Bears will get that upset win. The Browns stay in that 5 spot anyway. Chiefs, Patriots. See how that goes. Game in Foxborough. 5-6 years ago, that would have been a big matchup. But it's meaningless now as the Patriots are eliminated. But in this coin toss, the Patriots will get the upset win. And that will knock the Chiefs down to the 4 seed. Niners, Cardinals, as I said. Niners win. They get the NFC West. But they will not get the NFC West because the Cardinals will momentarily knock the 49ers down to the 2nd spot. But Commanders, Rams, that game played in at SoFi in Los Angeles. Heads. So, yeah, the Niners will not win that division this week. But the Rams, I believe, are still in playoff contention. Now we go to the Bills and the Cowboys. 30-something years ago, they were on their way to playing each other twice in the Super Bowl. So, heads and tails. Tails. The road team gets the win, and the Cowboys will now be in that top spot. And now here's a big one right here. Jacksonville, Baltimore. Jacksonville wins. They maintain that 3rd seed. Baltimore wins. They maintain that top spot. Here in this heads and tails. And tails never fails, and it will not fail for the Ravens. Baltimore maintains that 1-game lead over the Miami Dolphins for the top spot in the AFC. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are back into that 3rd spot after Jacksonville loses. In the Monday night game, the Eagles and the Seahawks. Nothing's really going to change, as it's tails, and the Eagles will get the win. However, they still keep basically in a virtual tie, though Dallas does own the tiebreaker to this point for that NFC East and the top spot. Now we go to week 16 here. As we got Saints Rams. Before we do, we're going to look at it here again. AFC Baltimore 1, Miami 2, Kansas City 3, Jacksonville 4, Cleveland 5, Indy 6, and Denver 7. NFC Dallas 1, San Francisco 2, Detroit 3, Tampa 4, Philly 5, Minnesota 6, Green Bay 7. Let's look at some of the right here. As I said, 9-5, 8-6, Detroit and Minnesota. Detroit, again, not starting to slide a bit. But again, this is just coin toss here. Let me see. Tampa Bay still owns that tiebreaker. The three-way tiebreaker. Of course, Carolina's been done for a while. The New York Giants still a little bit alive here. Only a game out of that. Only a game out of that 7 seed. And let's see here. In Miami, though, have a 3-game lead. They could clinch the AFC East in this particular video, at least in the coin toss wise, if they win this one. Kansas City and Denver at 8 and 6. Kansas City still owns that tiebreaker, but Denver can win that division still. Let's see, Baltimore, Cleveland. I believe a Baltimore win will give them the AFC North. Jacksonville and Indianapolis tied at 8 and 6. Jacksonville still owns that tiebreaker. So let me see here. Rams, Saints, big one for both teams. Heads, and the Rams will get the win, and that will momentarily put them in that 7 seed. Bengals, Steelers here, as they're both at 7 and 7. So this is a huge one here at I don't know what the name of that stadium is. It used to be called Heinz Field, and that is heads, and the Steelers will get the win, so they will keep their playoff hopes alive. Let me see, let me see, 7 and 8. Not dead yet. I don't think they're dead in the water yet for the Bengals, but that does take a big dash here. Bills, Chargers. Bills need this win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And that is tails, and the Bills will get that win. Let me see, Browns, Texans. Another one. Heads. And that win goes to the Texans. And that now puts the Steelers in that 7th spot. Denver moves to 6. Indy moves to 5 in the AFC. Meaningless again. I don't know if it's too meaningless yet. I think the Jets still have some outside shot. I don't know, but I think they did lose that game. So they could. This is basically meaningless. Tails, as that goes to the Commanders. Seahawks, Titans. See what this heads to. Heads. And the Titans will get that win. Let me see. What will the Titans' record be? 8 and 7. Look at that. The Titans still in this thing. Via the coin toss. Colts, Falcons. This is another big one right here. Interconference, but still big. And let me see. Heads it is. And the Falcons will get the win. That puts them into that 4th spot momentarily. And New Orleans, or Indianapolis, falls to the 6th seed. Denver moves to the 5th spot momentarily. Packers, Falcons. Packers win will put them, or Packers, Panthers, I should say. And that's tails, and the Packers will get the win, and they are back into that 7th spot at 8 and 7. Lions, Vikings, I should say. from U.S. Bank Stadium. Heads it is, and guess what? The Vikings now lead the division at 9-6. They hold the tiebreaker. Detroit falls to the 6th spot. Jaguars, Buccaneers. This is a big game for both teams. Heads it is, and the Buccaneers get the win. They go back into first place in the NFC South. Meanwhile, the Jaguars are 8-7. They are not running away with that division. The Colts are still thinking division here. And I don't know, this is somewhat meaningful. It could be a little meaningful for the Bears at this point in this coin toss simulation here against the Cardinals, and they do get the win. Let me see in the NFC part down here. Looking at the projected record, they are 7-8. They're only a game out of that 7th spot, so yeah, at this point, it's still meaningful. Cowboys, Dolphins. Sorry, guys, this is a little late here for me. And heads it is, and let's get out of this thing here. Dolphins will get the win. They maintain that 2 seed, and momentarily the Cowboys fall to that 5 spot as the Philadelphia Eagles go ahead into that top spot. Broncos, Patriots. Still meaningful for the Broncos, meaningless for the Patriots. But the Patriots are going to play some spoiler here. And guess what? The Broncos are back out of that spot, and the Browns are the 7th seed at 8-7. So out of all the clusterfuck teams that you see at 8-7, even though Cleveland lost to the Browns a few weeks ago, or Cleveland lost to the Broncos a few weeks ago, you got 4-way tie at least, and the Browns will hold that 7th spot. Now we got Raiders, Chiefs, Christmas Day. Tails. And remember, this is just coin flip, so the Raiders will go 2-0 in this coin flip here, and they will go to 7-8, so they're only a game back now. The Chiefs, though, at 8-7 in that 3 seed, this is going to be a crazy playoff if this happens here. Giants still in playoff contention, taking on the Eagles. And the Eagles will get the win. They go to 12-3. They are now a game and a half ahead of the 49ers. So the 49ers will be in that number 2 spot, regardless of how this goes. But we got Baltimore at San Francisco. Huge game for both of them. Both teams trying to vie for that top spot in each league, in each conference, as I say. And the 49ers will get that win, though Baltimore will maintain that top spot in the AFC. San Francisco still a game back of Philadelphia now. And now let's go look at it as we head to Week 17, the penultimate week. Heading into New Year's, let's see, Minnesota now has that top spot in the NFC North, as I say, in the 3 seed. And by the way, they can still fall to that 4 seed. Oddly enough, Tampa Bay owns the tiebreaker against New Orleans, or against Atlanta. They're 7-8. New Orleans 6-9. Let me see. Philly now on top of the NFC East, number 1 seed in the entire NFC. Dallas at 11-4. They are now in that 5 seed. I think they should be in the playoff safely, though, because there's 2 games left, and Even the 7th seed Green Bay can't catch them. And then the Niners, as I say, they are now NFC West champions in this universe. Baltimore, I believe, now has won the AFC North. They're 3 ahead of Pittsburgh now for and Cleveland. So yeah, that division is wrapped up because there's 2 games left for both teams. Miami also wins the AFC East, so they'll have at least 2 home games in Miami. And then this is still not over with yet. Kansas City 8-7, Denver 8-7, Las Vegas 7-8. The Chargers, bye-bye. So now we're going to go to week 16. And yeah, I think the Jets Jets are in last place now. So I think they are now eliminated from playoff contention in this coin toss video, because New England is now ahead of them, and New England at this point in real life are mathematically eliminated. So now let's go to the Jets and the Browns. Big game for the Browns, but can the Jets play spoiler? And they play spoiler. And Houston now momentarily is ahead into that 7th spot now. Cowboys, Lions. That game being played in Dallas, and the Cowboys will get the win. They're now 12-4 on the year. The Lions are now 9-7. Let me see. Dolphins, Ravens, huge game. This might decide the top seed. The slow coin toss, and let's see here. And Miami's going to walk out with a win. And I believe that gives Miami the top seed will clinch the top seed by head-to-head. So they get the tiebreaker. So the number 1 seed's already clinched in the AFC. And now a little bit of drama because the Bills are still in this. Game being played in Orchard Park. Heads it is, and Buffalo now, look at that. They now suddenly jump both Houston and Indianapolis for the 5th seed here. So good job, Buffalo. Falcons, Bears. Both teams still, at least in the playoff hunt. Heads it is, so the Bears will get a win on New Year's Eve at Soldier Field. So let me see now. As I said, Tampa now ahead. Now definitely ahead of, by half a game ahead of Atlanta. As Atlanta falls to 7-9. Chicago, though, goes to 8-8. Half a game behind the Packers for that 7th spot. So a lot of playoffs here. I know this is taking a long time, but I'm just going through, breaking down some stuff here. Raiders Colts on New Year's Eve. I just want to give a proper spin. Oh, look at that. The Raiders are 8-8. And now the 7th seed belongs to the Steelers. Colts knocked out. Houston at 6. Jaguars. Let me see. Jaguars. Panthers. Let me see here. And the Jaguars will go to 9-7. They momentarily move into that 3rd spot. Titans and the Texans here. Let's see how that goes. We got tails, and the Titans are going to get the upset win, and now that puts Denver ahead of the 7th seed of the Texans. Okay, Denver at 8-7. Now we got the Rams and the Giants. Both teams still fighting for a playoff spot. We go to tails here, and the Rams knock the Lions to the 7 seed. Wow. Interesting here. And we still have yet to have the Packers here. And let me see, 9-7, and the Giants at 6-10. I think they are most likely eliminated. I don't know yet. I wish they would show like if they had ease or. But we go to Eagles and the Cardinals here. Can the Cardinals play some sort of spoiler, and they will get the win. And for some reason, Philadelphia still keeps that top seed. Probably because of better conference record, I think, or divisional record. I mean, now we get the 49ers. I think they're coming up soon. But here's a big one right here. For NFC South hopes to stay alive. Tails, let's see, that goes to the Saints. And the Falcons, by the way, still held that 3-way tie. See that projected record there, 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. So we're going to have a little bit of drama. Niners, Commanders, and Landover on New Year's Eve. Heads it is, and the Commanders are going to play some spoiler here as the 49ers grip on that 1 seed is coming. Oh, so slipping. Steelers, Seahawks. From Seattle. Heads it is. Seattle will get the win. Let me see Seattle. They are 7-9. I don't know. They're not going to the playoffs, but the Steelers. Even with the loss, the Steelers are still in that 7 spot for right now. Chiefs, Bengals. From Arrowhead. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Denver is now ahead in that AFC West. Chiefs out. Now let's go to the big one here. Denver and the Chargers from Mile High. Tails it is, and the Chargers are going to get the win. See how that works, because Cleveland's back. Oh, look at this. The Raiders, via the coin toss, now hold the 3-way tie between the Chiefs, the Broncos, for the AFC West. Ooh, I love this. And Cleveland's in that 7th spot. And now here's a big one right here. The Packers and the Vikings. How will that turn out at US Bank? And the Vikings will get the win. So the Vikings, they actually do play the Lions in the final week. As we're going to go down now, let's look at some of the drama here. Where do we want to start off with first? We want to start off with the NFC South. Let me see here. We'll go with the Falcons. Or do we want to go? The Falcons are. We'll go with the Saints and the Bucks first. No. Falcons are playing the Saints. No, we'll go with the Bucks Panthers first. That game's played in Carolina. And we go tails, and we got a little bit of drama here. And now, here we go. I believe the Saints are out now. I believe that the Falcons will win that tiebreaker. I'm not sure. But what we will know for sure coming up from the Big Easy. Falcons. Saints. Saints will get the win in the Dome. And Nope. The Saints were, in fact, eliminated after the Buccaneers win, so the Buccaneers will win the NFC South. Now, let's see. Another division here. Let's see. Let's go to the... let's go to the North, NFC North now. Minnesota in first place, so we're going to leave that one. Now we're going to go to the Packers-Bears. Both teams at 8-8. And the game is being played in Lambeau on this Week 18. So we go heads, and the Packers will get that win. They go to 9-8 on the year, and now here it is for the NFC North. The Vikings are in the playoffs regardless of what happens in this game. Not sure about the Lions, though. So let's see from Ford Field. Tails never fails for the Vikings. They will get the AFC North. The Vikings will win the NFC North. The Packers are going to sneak in the 7th seed at least. Detroit misses out on the playoffs. Wow. And now let me see here. We're going to continue with the NFC. We're going to go to let's go to the NFC West games because there's some drama between Philly and Dallas, so we're going to go with the less drama right now as the Niners did win the West. But first, we're going to start off with Seattle, Arizona, because that game's meaningless to a certain extent, and Arizona will get the win to end their season off on the right note. Now we'll go to the NFC because the NFC West has already been decided, but you see here the Niners still have a shot at that 1 seed. Niners still have a shot at the top seed. And the Niners to clinch the West, but they still have a shot at the 1 seed. But could still fall to the 3 seed because they did lose to the Vikings earlier this year if the Rams pull off the upset. And this is for the 5 seed for the Rams, so depends on who they're going to play. Or for the 6 seed, I should say. And it's tails, and the Rams are going to get the win. And the Vikings will finish with the 2nd seed. The Niners will get the 3 seed. And the Rams will finish with the 6th seed. Now to the NFC East. Let's start off with the Eagles. Eagles-Giants. Let's see here. And we go heads, and the New York Giants will get the win. So now that puts the Cowboys in a position to get the top seed if they can beat the Commanders. That game is played at FedEx Field in Washington. Heads it is, and no. The Eagles will get the top seed, will win the NFC East, and will get the top seed. So in the NFC, it will be Philadelphia 1, Minnesota 2, San Francisco 3, Tampa 4, Dallas 5. We'll have a rematch of that game. LA also goes back to Levi's Stadium for Wild Card Weekend at 6. The 7th seed, Green Bay Packers, and how crazy coin tosses go. The Detroit Lions that looked very pretty at the beginning of this, they now miss out on the playoffs altogether. Now let's look at the AFC now. We're going to start off with the AFC West, We'll go start off with Chiefs Chargers because that game has a little bit of drama, but not nearly as much drama as the as you see heads there. Not nearly as much as the Raiders Broncos though. And the Chargers get the win. And now look at that. That moves Pittsburgh into that eighth. Very interesting. And by the way, that eliminates the Chiefs from the playoffs. I don't see that happening in real life, but you got to love the coin toss. All right, so now we go Raiders Broncos. And they're right up there. Give it a proper toss. It's tails, and the Broncos will win the AFC West. And there will be that 4 seed at least. I'm not sure how it works with Jacksonville. And we're actually going to be looking more into that one. We'll go with Texans and the Colts. Texans-Colts. See, let me see here. The Texans are still in. The Texans and Titans are still in it with 8-8. So this should be interesting here. Texans and the Colts. All teams are still in it. So we're going to start off with that one. So Jacksonville could still miss. So Texans, Colts. And that one will be in Indianapolis. And let's see here. Heads it is, and the Colts will get the win. Sayonara Texans. And now we go Titans and the Jaguars in Tennessee. Remember, last year that game meant the AFC South, where the Jaguars came back late in that game and won. So let's see here. Heads and tails. Tails it is, and the Jaguars will win the AFC South, and they'll be in that 3rd spot. And they will be facing the Indianapolis Colts, possibly. All right, so we want to go to the AFC North now, where Baltimore has that one, fighting for that 1 spot. But we're going to actually take that. We're actually going to get that game second because that's between the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to get that game second. Now we're going to go with Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, I should say. Cincinnati and Cleveland still have somewhat faint playoff hopes alive. So let's see here. That game's played in Cincinnati. Give it a proper spin, and tails will not fail for the Browns right now. So the Browns move into that 6th spot. Oh, man. Browns are the 6th seed, and now we go to Baltimore. Steelers, Ravens. Though actually the Ravens are locked into that 2 seed, but this is still important because Steelers win will get them in, but it will not happen because Baltimore is the home team and it's heads. Congratulations, Browns. You find a way to sneak in the playoffs at this point. So we got the South, we got the North, we got the West. Last but not least, the East. Because I don't think the Bills are in it yet. So, you know, we're going to go with the Jets and the Patriots because that game doesn't mean anything. Jets will get that win to end their season off on the right note. And now here it is because I still think there's a couple teams that could probably get in over the Bills. The Dolphins have the top seed in the AFC. Can the Bills get a win? And the Bills will sweep the Bills do sweep the Dolphins, but the Dolphins still get that top seed. And the Bills will be the 5 seed playing Denver if these were to happen. So once again, the Dolphin in the AFC, the Dolphins will get the top seed. Baltimore 2, Jacksonville 3, Denver 4, Buffalo 5, Cleveland 6, Indy 7. And then you had some teams that were in the thick of it, like Kansas City, eliminated. Let me see. What else? The Texans eliminated. And they were, I believe, were sitting in it for most of this video. In the NFC, Philly 1, Minnesota 2, San Francisco 3, Tampa 4, Dallas 5, the Rams 6, and the Packers 7. Detroit eliminated. I mean, I know this is coin toss, so we don't take anything of it, but this is still just a fun video for me. I know this is like a long video, and I'm sorry, guys, but I thought this would be a fun video to do, especially after the 2 insane Monday Night Football games that took place tonight or last night, whenever you guys are watching this. So I hope you guys take care. Hit that subscribe button and like, and tell me what you guys think. Besides the comments of, oh, this was too long. Crazy stuff happens. But you know what? The NFL is a crazy league. And at any given Sunday, guys, take care. Peace out, Paisans.